Welcome to our channel, where we explore the fascinating world of psychology and philosophy. Today, we're going to take a closer look at humor psychology, and some of the fascinating theories that have been proposed to explain why we find things funny. But first, let's define what we mean by humor. In psychology, humor is typically defined as the cognitive process that leads us to find something funny or amusing. This can include things like jokes, satirical cartoons, and other forms of humor. So, why do we find things funny? There are many different theories about this, but one of the most popular is the superiority theory. This theory proposes that we find humor in things that make us feel superior to others, such as when we see someone slip on a banana peel or when we hear a clever joke. But this idea of feeling superior to others has been criticized by philosophers like Plato and Socrates, who argued that humor can often be cruel and divisive. In the Republic, Plato argues that laughter is the product of empty-headedness, and that it has no place in a well-ordered society. Socrates, on the other hand, took a more positive view of humor, arguing that it can be a powerful tool for exploring difficult ideas and challenging conventional wisdom. In the Apology, he uses humor and irony to defend himself against his accusers and to expose the contradictions in their arguments. But Plato and Socrates are not the only philosophers who have thought about the role of humor in human life. In the Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle argues that humor is a form of pleasure that arises from the perception of incongruity or absurdity. He suggests that we find things funny when they violate our expectations or when they challenge our beliefs about the world. In more recent times, the philosopher Immanuel Kant has also written about the role of humor in human life. In his Critique of Judgment, Kant proposes that humor arises from the tension between our reason and our imagination. He argues that when we encounter something that violates our expectations or challenges our beliefs about the world, our reason tries to make sense of it, but our imagination resists this effort and creates a humorous effect. But not all theories of humor psychology focus on the philosophical or cognitive aspects of humor. Some psychological theories propose that humor has a physiological basis, and that it is related to the way our brains and bodies respond to different stimuli. In our modern society, this idea of tension between reason and imagination can be seen in many forms of humor, including satirical cartoons, parodies, and other forms of irony. For example, a satirical cartoon that makes fun of a political figure may challenge our beliefs about that figure and our expectations of political discourse, and this tension can create a humorous effect. Similarly, a parody of a popular song, a stand-up comedian, or a movie may challenge our expectations of what that song, comedian, or movie should be like, and this tension can also create a humorous effect. The relief theory suggests that humor serves as a psychological release valve that helps us cope with stress and anxiety. This theory is supported by research that shows that laughter can have a number of physical and psychological benefits, including improved immune function, reduced stress levels, and increased social bonding. When we are faced with a deadline at work, our reason may focus on the pressure and the potential consequences of not meeting the deadline, which can increase our stress and anxiety. But if we encounter a humorous situation or joke, our imagination can resist this negative focus and create a humorous effect, which can help us to relax and reframe the situation in a more positive light. Additionally, humor can also be a powerful tool for social bonding and connection. When we share a laugh with others, it can help us to feel closer to them and improve our relationships. If we are feeling lonely or isolated, a funny joke or situation can help us to connect with others and feel a sense of belonging. But not everyone finds the same things funny, and the relief theory does not explain why some people find certain things amusing while others do not. For this, we need to look at other theories of humor psychology. And that could, among others, be the cognitive dissonance theory. This theory proposes that humor arises from the resolution of psychological tension or conflict. In other words, we find things funny when they help us to resolve the conflicting or contradictory thoughts and ideas that we have in our minds. People also have different experiences, backgrounds, and cognitive styles that influence their sense of humor. For example, someone who has a lot of experience with a particular type of humor, such as wordplay or puns, may find that type of humor more amusing than someone who does not have that experience. So, the next time you come across something that you find funny, think about what makes it amusing to you, and how it might be perceived differently by someone else. You might be surprised by what you learn about yourself and others, and you might even find a new appreciation for the complexity and diversity of humor. Thanks for watching, and next time we see you, we will dive into a few of the most absurd theories of psychology.